I'm a little nervous. I feel like you can all hear my heart beating from out there. So,
We can.
We can, and that's good.
yeah. So before I start, when I was chosen to be the MC for tonight's ceremony, I really thought about how I wanted to do this. It wasn't very long before I decided that I wanted to speak from my heart out of love and compassion for the people that I love, that I fell in love with. So, with that in mind.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is Lala Palazzolo, and I'm from Michigan. And I walked all the way. Twice.
Yeah.
8 months ago, 40 strangers from all over the country and Canada embarked on a 3,000-mile journey across the United States to inspire a nation to take action on the climate crisis issue. We demanded of ourselves and each other that we be an authentic representation of the resolve that is needed in order for our planet to sustain itself into the future. We have marched through many towns throughout our journey and have heard the personal struggles of people who have been affected by climate change and are now on the front lines. We have brought their stories with us, and tonight we will give them a voice by sharing with you the hurdles that they face every day. Climate change is a subject that unites all of us and forces all of us to come together for the common good of the planet. It calls us to take individual action that ultimately affects the collective. It requires us to rebel against apathy in our own lives, because that is what makes us better stewards of this beautiful blue planet. It opens us up to the future of positive possibilities. It feeds our innate desire to find new meaning in life, and it fuels us all to be agents of change. I invite you all to put aside your indifference and connect with your brothers and your sisters who suffer in silence as a result of all the contributing factors to climate change. Being a compassionate society starts a growth inside all of us that helps us reach our fullest potential and ultimately our own transformation. Our first speaker tonight is a 3-time elected mayor of our One Earth Village and the only woman spirit marcher to walk every step from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. There were times when Miriam hit walls of exhaustion, when I thought that emotionally she was hanging on her last thread. But something would rally her spirit, her tenacious spirit, and she'd be out there trudging through the snow, the wind, and the rain. She's a straight shooter who holds back nothing. One minute she's yelling at you for not wearing your safety vest, and the next, she's telling you how much she loves you as tears well up in her eyes. An amazing woman who has touched each of us, whom anyone would be honored to stand next to in the fight for a livable future. It is my privilege to introduce our mayor, our friend, and our sister, Miriam Kashia.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Okay. First of all, congratulations. We are here. I want you to take 30 seconds to applaud yourselves. Oh, come on. Astounding as it is, here we are, honoring and celebrating our successful journey and saying farewell to this most extraordinary, amazing, and miraculous experience and this community of people, our one and only, never to be forgotten One Earth Village.
Yes.
As we say our farewells, I want to give voice to various aspects of our march: the land, the seasons, the people we encountered en route, and our own voices. The voice of the land spoke to us in the grandeur and beauty of the Mojave and Sonoran deserts. We felt the voices of the sunrises and sunsets and responded with our own sunset song. 8 full moon cycles lit our pathway, and some of us did our route by night by the light of that moon. The mountains, prairies, Great Lakes, trees, and mighty rivers called us to awaken to the changes and stresses they are enduring. The voice of the land said to us, "We are your home and your being. Protect us." The seasons seemed different when we walked through them. We watched the cactus bloom and the rains come, the corn grow, and the leaves turn yellow, red, and russet. They fell on our path like gifts. Nature threw some of her greatest events our way: strong wind and hail, blizzard, dust storm, thunderstorms, and tornado warnings. We have been reminded of her awesome power, as well as her delicate and rugged beauty. With our feet on her sacred ground and our bodies resting on Mother Earth every night, we respect and love her more than ever. Our avowed purpose is to transform our broken human systems and protect her for all time. Then there are the voices of the people, thousands of them, with whom we have shared our story and heard theirs. I recall the man from a Middle Eastern country who gave me $100 and told me, "Where I come from, you would be arrested for this." He said to me, "I love this country." The woman in Ohio who saw us and ran out of her office and wept in my arms, thanking me for what we are doing. She said to me, "Please save our mother." Maggie at her organic farm shared her story of the greed and callous disregard of the fossil fuel frackers that have driven her off her land and made her an American climate refugee. These voices deepen our commitment and break our hearts. We carry them with us for always. Hardest to hear are the voices of those on the front lines of communities that are being poisoned and ravaged by our nation's addiction to fossil fuel-based energy systems. To them we say, "We hear you and we will tell your stories and fight against the injustices and harm that you face." Our own voices have been raised in protest, in song, in speeches and chants, in weeping. We have wailed in despair and frustration and lifted ourselves up with joyous laughter. Woven through it all is the sweet, sometimes fierce melody of love for one another and for our earth. Some of our voices have shouted out in sacred silence, in solidarity with nature who has no voice, to honor and grieve with the silenced species who are becoming extinct at the rate of 150 per day. And the silence has been held at all times on this march by one or more people, one or more of us, to represent the millions of humans all over the planet who already suffer the devastating effects of climate chaos and catastrophe. For all of them, let us together hold silence for 1 minute. ever-growing army of climate warriors, doing what we are able, each in our own way, to change the course of history. We will continue to listen to one another and to all the voices ahead. The most important voice is the inner one that reminds us there is no us and them. What we see, what we do, what we face, we are all one. We are together. We truly are one global, one Earth village. Thank you all for co-creating this possibility with me. In the voice of Michael Dowd, the future is calling us to greatness. Have a good road.